Everyone says no sound. Hello, hello. Can everyone hear us?
They should be able to hear us now.
Testing, testing. Can everyone hear us?
Do you want the main light off, on, or?
As you think is best, sir.
I'm not really good when it comes to lights and stuff, so.
I think the lighting off.
Off.
Well, switch it on and then we'll make a decision. What do you think? Off, on, off.
You shut off, yeah?
Yo, Bobby.
Hey, Leon. How we doing, man?
What's up, mate?
I'm good, thanks be to God. How are you?
Not free bad, not free
Leon, it's Akuma here. How you doing, brother?
bad. What's up, Akuma? You good?
Yeah, good, man. Always good to hear your positive voice, man.
Come on. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes.
Yeah, you tend to be most of the time, man. That's a rare thing to have these days, man. So
Appreciate that, man.
no worries,
Appreciate
brother.
that.
No worries.
We saying you're the technical man behind Bob, yeah?
Yes, I am. I'm IT support now.
Akuma is the official Soko IT support guy. He's got a title and everything.
Then cool, man.
I am director of Soko.
He gives himself the title, I might hasten
IT
to add.
IT director. Yeah, that's my title.
Yeah, he gives himself the title. Everyone else just calls him the IT guy.
Cool. Well, it's 7 o'clock now still. Is there any, what did you want to talk about, Bob?
So today, what I want to talk about is Christophobia within the Islamic community, using Nigeria as an example, and the fact that no one talks about it, mate. You know, that's. I want to talk about what's happening in Nigeria to Christians. I want to talk about the fact that the liberal media don't talk about it, and I want to talk about why we're not talking about Christophobia within the Muslim community.
In the Muslim community.
In the Muslim community.
Okay. And we saying you don't mind people coming on now?
No, of course not. But what I would suggest, Leon, I mean, it's your show, mate. Our channel is also watching this, but this is your show. So, you know, I'm not here to take over your show. If you want to put a bunch of people on, put a bunch of people on. But what I would suggest is if you stick too many people on, it ends up becoming a bit of a farce. And also moderate it and control how long people speak for to ensure that the whole thing, A, remains dignified, and B, you know, is constructive and productive, and people get to speak, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no respect coming over and kicking people out.
No one ain't allowed to kick no one off.
Good.
Rasmus's been on my show a few times still, but he's always had respect for how I do things still. I usually try not to let more than like 3 people on at the same time.
All right.
Because of that reason. Like through experience, I've seen that it just becomes a shouting match and no one don't really get to hear each other. So yeah, man, I'll just try. Like I say, it'll probably be me and you for the first part.
Okay.
And then as it goes along, I want to ask you a few questions as well.
Sure.
As it goes along, then I'll open it up to people who want to join. But it will be like they'll have to send me an email for me to send them. Like I don't just post a link in the chat for anybody to join.
Yeah.
To send me an email, you get me? So
yeah. Well,
I'll just regulate it like that.
We are now at your disposal. But before we begin, can I just start with a prayer from the Psalms, which is a prayer from the Psalms.
What do you mean, on the show you want to do that?
Oh, yes, because before we begin, it's just appropriate, you know? Because also, like, Soko films are watching, and that's just what we do. Is that all right?
No problem.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Cool, but I'm going to introduce the show first.
Yeah, okay. And then when you're ready, I'll start.
I'll introduce you as the guest speaker, and then you can do your prayer there still.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You saying when you're ready now, though?
You what, sorry?
Are you ready now?
I'm ready to go, man.
I'm going to go live still.
Go live.
Yeah, we're live still. Big up to all of the 7 people that's watching right now on COE, to the Soko audience as well. Today we got Bob the Builder in the building, as the title suggests. So I ain't gonna waste no time still. I'm gonna let Bob get straight into it. And big up Akuma as well, working the IT still behind the scenes. But yeah, Bob the Builder, take over.
Thank you very much, Leon. And greetings and blessings to everyone who is listening, whether they are listening on Content Over Everything, Support the Bentley Fund, or whether they are listening on Soco Films. Today we're going to be talking about what has happened in Nigeria. There was an anti-Christian pogrom in Nigeria, and we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the roots of that, and also exploring the silence of the liberal media that went into fits of apoplectic rage, and rightly so, about the massacre that happened in New Zealand, but was completely silent about the massacre of Christians in Nigeria. And I want to talk about why that is. But before I do, we should just start in prayer. And the book of Psalms is a book of prayers, so I'm just going to read a psalm or two. Behold, bless the Lord, all servants of the Lord, who serve by night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the sanctuary and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and earth. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious oil upon the head, coming down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, coming down upon the edge of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, coming down upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, life forever. Thanks be to God. So thanks, Leon, for inviting us over, mate. I want to talk about the 280 Christians that were killed in Nigeria. I just want to read from a Christian news post. So this is a Christian news service that talks about what happened. It was published March 18th, 2019. And it reads as follows. Jos, Nigeria BP. Christian deaths are spiraling in Nigeria as militant Fulani herdsmen and Boko Haram terrorists escalate their attacks, according to reports from religious liberty watchdog groups active there. As many as 280 people were killed in Christian communities in several attacks spanning February through mid-March in Nigeria's Middle Belt, according to varying reports from Christian Solidarity Worldwide, Morning Star News, and International Christian Concern. Militants destroyed hundreds of homes and displaced residents. In the latest attack, Fulani militants killed 10 Christians overnight, March 16th, in Kaduna State. Morning Star News reported today, March 18th, the deaths follow the killing of 40 Christians in at least 2 attacks in Kaduna in February 10 to the 26th. Meanwhile, a regional Nigerian court ruled that the national government failed to protect victims when militant Fulani killed 500 people, most of them Christian civilians, in several Middle Belt attacks in Benue State in 2016. The Court of Justice of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on February 26 sided with the Christian plaintiffs and ordered the government to investigate the 2016 killings, saying that the government shirked its obligation to protect the human rights of the Agatu community and prevent its violations. The ECOWAS ordered the government to begin protecting the predominantly Christian communities by deploying adequate security personnel, but the ECOWAS stopped short of awarding plaintiffs 13.87 million requested in monetary damages. Plaintiffs include 11 Christian leaders and the movement against Fulani occupation. Now, the reason why I want to talk about that is because when that horrendous attack happened in New Zealand, and it was horrendous, and it's obviously got to be condemned, that goes without saying, we were subject to days worth of lecturing from the liberal mainstream media about the dangers and the horrors of Islamophobia. Around the same time, as noted in that report that we've just mentioned, Christians of an equal number were butchered, in a greater number, were butchered in two separate Islamist attacks, one under by Boko Haram and one by Fulani militants. Now, the liberal media did not then give that the same amount of coverage as it gave to the deaths of the New Zealand nationals. And I want to ask the question why, and I invite the panelists who come on to give their opinion as to why. I put it to you, Leon, and I put it to your audience, and I put it to all the so-called people audience as well, that the persecution of Christians is not a big deal to the liberal media because it contradicts the narrative that they're trying to create. The death of those Christians wasn't ignored because the Christians that were killed were black, because the BBC and the liberal media talk about the horrors of racism all the time, though there is an argument to say that they were ignored because they were African, because we all know that a black European's life, according to the liberal media, is worth more than the black lives of Africans. It's not because they were poor, because the liberal media always talks about poverty. I put it to you and to the audience that the reason why the lives of those Christians in Nigeria was worth less than the lives of the Muslims that were killed in New Zealand is because they were Christian. And to start talking about Christophobia within the Muslim community contradicts a whole bunch of liberal narrative that we are supposed to believe hook, line, and sinker without any form of critical thinking. Because the reality is that there is a great deal of Christophobic prejudice amongst many sections, but not all, of the Muslim community. And that needs to be talked about just like we talk about anything else. One
second, yeah. I need to put a call out to the Muslim community that want to come on and challenge these claims that Bob's making still, because I definitely don't want it to seem like it's a one-sided